Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to week 2 of the college football kickoff morning show. I'm your host, Armando Black. D Truth will be joining me here shortly. We're going to be going over with you for today's epic matchups. We got the Showdown in Austin, and we have the Showdown in Gainesville later on tonight. Let me just go down a list of games that will be happening today. Alabama, number 1 ranked Alabama versus Texas. Number 16th ranked Arkansas taking on South Carolina. That is going to be a very interesting game. Another intriguing game that I'm looking forward to. Wake Forest, number 23 Wake Forest taking on Vanderbilt. Now, if Vanderbilt wins this game, I think they will move into the top 25 rankings. Missouri versus Kansas State. That is also going to be another interesting matchup. Very interesting. Tennessee at Pittsburgh. That will be at 3:30. Tennessee ranked number 24. Pittsburgh ranked number 17. This will be the first real test for Tennessee this year. They are projected to finish second behind Georgia in the SEC East. This is going to be a very, very interesting day. And this is going to be epic. This is going to be an epic day. Alabama traveling to Texas. The first time these two teams have met up since the 2010 Rose Bowl, BCS National Championship game. And that game will be at 12 noon today. Odd kickoff time for Alabama. An odd kickoff time for Alabama. They have them favored by 20 points. I personally don't think they'll cover the spread. I think that Texas will actually keep it close until sometime in the early part of the fourth quarter. I think Alabama will win by 2 touchdowns. But as far as 20 points or more in Austin, I don't see that happening. Maybe if they were in Bryant-Denny, but I don't see that happening in Tuscaloosa. I want to welcome everyone in the chat this morning. Bacardi Obama, salute to you. Slam News, salute to you. We have a thin crowd this morning. Not too many people are morning people when it comes to sports on YouTube, but we are going to get on track with this thing as the season goes on and the matchups become bigger and more meaningful. The crowd will get bigger. Whitfield Pennywise, salute to you. Salute to you. If Colt McCoy didn't get hurt, that game would have been quite interesting. You're absolutely right. I think that game would have been interesting. I think it would have went deep into the fourth quarter. I still will give the edge to the Tide. I still believe the Tide would have actually pulled it off. But hey, that's one of those what ifs that we'll never know about. One of those what ifs that we will never know about. Kind of like what if Georgia would have played Notre Dame in the 2012 BCS championship game? Would Georgia have done the same thing to Notre Dame, or would have Notre Dame been able to hang with the Dogs or even beat the Dogs? Notre Dame had a great defense that year. So we can't assume what would and what wouldn't happen. Right? So this is going to be, I really think that this Alabama team is much improved from last year. They have a much better squad than they did last year. But it's going to be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, I'm going to go to what I think is going to be the game of the day. Tennessee, Pittsburgh. That is going to be in Pittsburgh. Now, the Panthers are coming with a defense. They have a great defense. That secondary, in my opinion, I think that secondary can match up very, very well with the Tennessee wideouts. So Tennessee is going to have to actually have a running game in order to beat the Panthers. I think that secondary matches up very well. So Tennessee is going to have a great ground game. Look and pay attention to that. Pay attention to the yards per carry. Tennessee is definitely going to need somewhere between 4 to 5 yards per carry in order to win that game, because the Panthers have a secondary. Good morning to you, brother. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Sorry about our being late. You know, I got to take care of bumper duties. Y'all know how they go, but it's going to be it's going to be a great Saturday. What we see, like we saw the first week of college football this week, hey, maybe not. But that first week was exciting. Yes, it's going to be great. It's going to be great this week.
Absolutely. It definitely is. It definitely is. Out of all the matchups that I named, which one are you looking forward to the most?
I want to see Since Texas come into the SEC, I want to see what Bama and Texas do. I want to see what Texas do against the SEC opponent since they're coming into the SEC. That's the most intriguing matchup I want to see right there.
Mm-hmm.
Is Bama who we think they are,
Mm-hmm.
or Texas pretending to be not that good? That is the question.
Well, judging from their game last week, they have improved. My only thing is the quarterback has never played in a big game like this. He doesn't have big game experience. That is going to be the huge disadvantage for Texas, where Bryce Young is been there, done that. He's battle tested. So if Texas was, that's why I'm saying in games like this, it is very important to have a quarterback with experience, especially when you're going against Bama. You don't want to put a rookie quarterback out there, a quarterback that has never been in the bright lights. Even though the game is in Austin, we're both football guys. A lot of times that can create more pressure. I remember when our home games, I would be more nervous about our home games because look, it's more pressure on you because you don't want to get embarrassed in front of your friends. You don't want to get embarrassed in front of your girlfriends. You don't want to get embarrassed in front of your teachers. It was more pressure on them home games than it was on the road game.
You're right about that. It's more pressure that on you at home than it is on the road. But I look like with an inexperienced quarterback. If Texas could get that running game going, run it just a little bit. I don't care 2-3 yards like I say in the past. That would take the pressure off the quarterback for him to try to win the ball game.
Exactly. But the only thing about it is, to beat Bama, you're gonna have to put the ball in the air. That's just in the Saban era. Think about the times that he has lost games. You can go all the way back to the 2008 SEC championship game. You can go to when Garcia just played out of his mind. Salute to your mother boy Trey. When the kid from South Carolina played out of his mind and just turned into Dan Marino that day. Yeah. You can go to Cam Newton, the comeback. Every time Bama has lost, the quarterback had to make big plays. B. John Robertson. Hey, listen. I hope Arthur Blank is watching this kid, but we need a running back. The Falcons need a running back, and B. John, I would love to have him in a Falcons uniform. Yeah, Clemson. Clemson beat Bama in the air with tight ends. They used they used a lot of spread motion offense, and you need a quarterback. You need a mobile quarterback. Good morning to you, Esco. You need a quarterback that's mobile. And I tell this to Georgia fans all the time, and there's still some Georgia fans that are a little upset that JT Daniels left. Listen, there's no way in hell that Georgia would have won that game against Bama without Stetson Bennett. I'm just being honest with you. That kid, you have to have a mobile quarterback. And if this kid is not mobile, if he cannot extend the drives and extend the plays, Dallas Turner and Will Anderson are going to have a field day on him today.
Yeah. And another thing about that game is very intriguing. All they're going to use the formula Georgia use. Run at Will Anderson. Any defensive player can make a play when the ball going away from them because they're going towards the play. What do they do when the ball is coming towards them? That is my question. That's the only question about. I had this question about Will Anderson last year, didn't I? Can he make the plays when the play is coming to him? Exactly. Look at all the great defense D forward. When the plays came to him, he still made the plays. You see what I'm saying? Look at all the great defensive player that if the play came to them, they still make the play. Will Anderson hasn't shown me he can still make the play if the play is running at him. He get out the block to make the play. He hasn't proved that to me yet.
Well, this is the issue, D. This is the issue. What offensive coordinator besides Todd Monken is going to have the courage to run the ball directly at Will Anderson? He's so fast off of the line. Do you really want to take that chance and try to run at Will Anderson?
I would. Because guess what? You know this. Think as an offensive mind, offensive coordinator. Okay, your offensive coordinator. Yeah, he quick off the line. What usually do an offense coordinator use for a fast defensive end coming off the ball real fast? Hey, run at him. Make him read the play. That's why you got to have a mobile quarterback. Make him read the play. Oh, do the quarterback have the ball or do the running back have the ball?
Okay. Now, let me ask you this question here. All right. Now, this is a good question from Slam Newton. Now, listen, Appalachian State is a very dangerous team, whether they're at home or on the road. Okay. Texas A&M. Listen, Texas A&M, they did not look too good last Saturday. All right. I don't know if it's the chemistry with the wideouts and the quarterback, but they better be very, very careful with this one today. Appalachian State, Texas A&M. Your thoughts on this one?
Hey, if they have a question about Appalachian State, go back in week 1. Who did Appalachian State play that Saturday? And almost won?
North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. If Appalachian State played like that and put up that many points, the question is, can Texas A&M stop Appalachian State from putting up big points? That is my question for Texas A&M defense.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. The SEC, kind of what happened to the Pac-12 last week, this could be a dark day for the SEC. Now, I'm going to explain to you why. This game right here, Appalachian State, Texas A&M. All right, and listen, it could tilt differently. Pitt, Tennessee.
Yep.
That could go totally different. And also Bama and Texas.
Yep.
If Texas pulls off the shocker or the miracle of the decade, I would call it the miracle of the decade because Texas is unranked.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Saban has never lost to an unranked team in his career at Bama. Never. On the road or at home. So this could be a dark day for the SEC. The SEC could take a major hit, although it was riding high last week at 14-1. Should have been
13-1.
13-1. Should have been 14-0 by a lucky block field goal by Florida State. This could be this week could go totally different for the SEC.
And I'm looking at all the schedule, and this is the week. I told you behind the scene that this second week could be some major upsets. Mm-hmm. I said it last week on the post-game show. I said, don't be shocked. It'd be some upset in the first 2 weeks. I would be shocked.
Exactly. I'm just strolling through here. I'm looking at a couple of games. Here. Now, USC and Stanford is also going to be very interesting. Listen, there's a lot of hype around USC. They moved up to number 10 in the polls. I think this is their first time being ranked this high since 2017. So they get a chance to prove themselves. They get a chance to prove themselves this afternoon. 7:30 in Palo Alto, California. What are your thoughts on that one? Because listen,
It,
I'm big on the USC train. I'm high on the
yeah,
USC train. What do you think?
I'm looking at this game right here. Stanford, USC, UCLA. They about almost to the same damn goal area. This just it's just like Auburn, Georgia, Auburn, Alabama rivalries.
Mm-hmm.
And you know Stanford. How many times have you thought Stanford could not win a ball game? They wound up upsetting USC.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, but problem is Stanford playing at home. The pressure on them. And the
Yeah.
point spread is the pressure is 9. That's a touchdown and a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you wonder. There's some Vegas is not that high on USC right now for the point spread to be that. Because you look at it as a rivalry game. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
That's a rivalry game,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna be. It gonna, if Stanford beat USC, I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised. Would you be surprised if Stanford beat USC?
It was surprising me a little, but not that much. Not that much. But I think USC could take care of business. But it's going to be a test. They can make a statement today. They can actually do what Georgia did last Saturday, and
Yeah.
they can just close a lot of mouths today, and just go into Palo Alto and make a statement. Now on the flip side of that, I think this year right here, the seat sizzles for David Shaw. And
Stanford.
I
Yeah.
love David Shaw. Listen. I remember one year he came very close to making it to the playoffs. I don't know what's going on out there. Is the recruiting? It seems like the recruiting has gone down. I mean, the guy was. I mean, he was recruiting his tail off with Andrew Luck and Christian McCaffrey. He was getting some. He was getting some dogs out there. And lately, it's like he's not able to get the top players. I don't know if that has anything to do with Oregon. I don't know if that has anything to do with the resurgence of USC. But listen, David Shaw, he has to get it together. He really does. He has to get it together. He has to come. He got to listen. He needs a signature win this year, or he's gone, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm like another intriguing game I'm looking forward to. Arizona State and Oklahoma State.
Mm-hmm.
Pac-12 versus the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
Can Oklahoma State repeat what it did last year? Can Arizona State get off the ground and make some noise?
Well, you have two coaches right now, even though Mike Gundy has signed an extension. Herman Edwards is in the hot seat. Now, Herman Edwards is a great coach. Listen, look what he did with the Jets. He took the Jets from the dead and almost took them to a Super Bowl. Okay, we can't poo-poo on that. All right. Arizona State has talent. There's talent on that team. They've had a couple of transfers. They had a couple of players to transfer out over the offseason. Now, I think that's what may ultimately kind of hurt them. But this could go. This is another test for the Pac-12. The Pac-12 as a conference needs this game. Herman Edwards needs this game. This would be a signature win, a huge signature win for Herman Edwards to go into Stillwater and take down Mike Gundy and the Cowboys. That would be huge for him. This is a toss-up because it is so important. Listen, the Big 12 can have a monster day today. They can have a monster day today.
Yep.
Between Baylor and Oklahoma State carrying the flag for the Big 12, they can have a monster day today, or their day could be kind of like what the Pac-12 had last Saturday. Because BYU is no joke. That is going to be a game. Baylor and BYU later on tonight, that is going to be a game. That is going to be a game. That game is going 4 quarters. There's no doubt in my mind. It's going 4 quarters.
Yeah. it's a lot of interesting games that the Pac-12, SEC, the Big 12, and I'm trying to see some big games in the Big Ten right now. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
It's a big.
Good morning to you. Yeah, y'all got Stanford. You got a very important one. Y'all have to go into Napa Valley, into the winery in Palo Alto, California, and deal with Stanford. And that used to be a very tough place to go. That used to be a tough place to go to and try to win a game. But like I said, it's like the Stanford program is kind of like taking a dive. It's like they're taking a step back, and USC is taking a step forward, and USC can really make a statement. They need to go out there, not only win, but they need to win convincingly.
Yeah. Yeah. And another game that intrigued, the Big 12 versus the Big 10. In-state rivalry, Iowa State. I don't know why they didn't put Iowa State in the same conference. That doesn't make no sense to me. Put one of the Big 12.
Eventually, Iowa State will end up in the Big Ten. I think it would have made more sense for Iowa State to be added to the Big Ten over UCLA. Eve James, salute to you, sister. Salute to you. I think UCLA. Listen, I wouldn't have been mad if one of the California teams would have been left in the Pac-12. All right, and I really don't look at USC and UCLA as a rivalry anymore. USC and Notre Dame is the rivalry, in my opinion.
Yeah.
USC going to the Big Ten. I'm not really thrilled about that move, but instead of adding UCLA along with USC, I would have took Iowa State, because that that rivalry, Iowa State and Iowa, these games go deep into overtime. It's always a 4-quarter battle. I think Iowa has an amazing defense. What they did to South Dakota State last Saturday was unbelievable. 2 safeties. Let me tell you something.
They never happened.
Listen, the probability of that ever happening again in our lifetime is slim. Slim to none. 2 safeties in the same game. If I'm not mistaken, it happened in the same half.
Yeah, and you know something about that right there. Iowa became the only team to score 7 points without scoring a touchdown. A field goal and 2 safeties. Man, hey, you can't look. Hollywood could have scripted that like that. You can't never script that like that. That's why I said this week gonna be amazing, very amazing. Another game I'm interested in. If Moneyboy's still in the chat somewhere, Memphis and Navy.
He's a Tide fan.
He a Tide fan, but hey, how the world you be a Tide fan being up in Memphis?
Well, you got to remember now, a lot of, like it's kind of like Atlanta. Memphis is kind of like Atlanta. Memphis is right there on the border of Arkansas. Okay, so if you grow up and then below Memphis is you're in Ole Miss territory. So a lot of people that grow up in Memphis, they're either a Memphis fan, a Tennessee fan, Arkansas fan. Some of them could be Arkansas fan. If you're over to the western part of the city of Memphis, all right, over closer by the bridge. Because remember, you go over that bridge, you're in Arkansas, all right? And then if you are from the southern part, the southwestern part of Memphis, then you are 9 times out of 10, you are Ole Miss fan. So it's kind of like it's different pockets of college fan bases in the city of Memphis.
So I understand that, but they're gonna be an interesting game, because I think both of them is in the All-American Conference. That's gonna be an interesting game right there. Both of them looking for a win. They lost last week. It's gonna be very interesting. So It's gonna be some interesting game this week. Who's gonna come up and show out? I feel bad for Marshall though. Got to play Notre Dame in South Bend.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't because listen, Notre Dame needs they need to figure out a quarterback. Now that kid can run. He's a hell of a runner, but his skill set as far as like reading defenses and being able to fit balls in the tight windows. He's going through what Stetson went through 2 years ago. All right, he has great feet, can run like hell, but doesn't really quite know how to read defenses that well. Okay, now will he grow into it as the season go along? Yes, Notre Dame is going to be a problem moving forward, but Marshall can pick them off. Marshall can pick them off. Don't think Marshall can't go into South Bend and pick them off, because as hard as they played against Ohio State, there is something called a hangover. And you remember this. You remember this now. Remember 3 years ago. All right. You guys played a tough game, a tough, close game against LSU. It went into overtime and you lost. The following Saturday, you had Tennessee at home in Jordan Hare. And what happened? They caught you slipping. It was a 12 o'clock game. So Notre Dame has got to be very, very careful with that. Good morning to you, J-Dog. What's going on, brother?
Good morning, man. Just chilling, man. Just chilling. How y'all doing?
All right. I got a question for you. This game right here. Who needs this game more? Kentucky or Florida? Who needs this game more?
Both.
I'm gonna let you take that one first, Jason.
When you gauge it, it's hard to say who needs the game more because Kentucky as a program. Because it's a double-edged sword. All right, Kentucky is trying to continue to build off the seasons that they have had.
Yeah.
Florida is trying to rebound from having bad seasons. So, for that simple fact, it's going to be a good game, but you can't really say who needs it more because really both of them in the same situation.
Yeah. Both in the situation, both got to play Georgia. But Florida's trying to rebound. Kentucky trying to continue the success they had from last year. So
now, if you're looking at it from a playoff perspective, Kentucky needs the game more because the Florida is one of those media darlings. Yeah, come on, man. They went from being unranked to number 12. That's ridiculous.
Oh yeah. They kind of like what? Should we say it? I'm from based my bad. Kind of like Alabama, $1 million. No matter if they lose 1 or 2 games, they still gonna be in the top 5.
That's ridiculous. Everybody else got to play and work for their recognition and their rankings. But those 2 teams right there, as soon as they show a little bit of life, they're automatically in the top 20.
I'm telling you another unranked team for the SEC that got in the top 25. Tennessee. They wasn't ranked.
Exactly.
I want to say something. The big winner in this right here would be Georgia, because Georgia desperately needs. I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, if you look at their schedule, all right, Oregon, all right, they're already out of the top 25. All right, the fact that is if Florida keeps winning and somehow goes into Jacksonville with 1 loss or undefeated, that's good for Georgia. That beefs Georgia's resume up. The same thing with Tennessee. If Tennessee can come to Athens undefeated, a couple of things happened for Georgia last year, Jason, that we didn't see coming. All right. We didn't see Kentucky coming into Athens undefeated. We didn't see Arkansas coming into Athens undefeated. That padded the schedule. That padded the resume. So what happened in Atlanta, all right, and that committee went in that back room and they looked and said, okay, all right, they beat Arkansas when they were undefeated. Arkansas just came off a big win against Texas. They beat Kentucky after Kentucky just came off a big win against LSU. That's a hell of a resume. So Georgia can be the big winners in all of this. Either way, with Kentucky and Florida, but Pittsburgh, if Tennessee beats Pittsburgh, look out. They're going to move up in the poll.
Yeah. And Georgia was in that situation last year when Kentucky and Tennessee came in there undefeated, right? That kind of reminds you when Auburn had that 2 losses to beat Georgia and Alabama and could have made playoff if they beat Georgia in the SEC championship game, could have got in there. Look at the padded record. You see what I'm saying? They beat 2 number 1 team. So you can't see these games matter at the beginning of the season. I don't care what conference you in. I don't care what conference you're in. That's why I stressed about Oklahoma State and Arizona State. That's a must for both of them, one of them 2 teams to win that game, to stay in competition, especially for the Pac-12.
Yeah.
How many times have we seen the Pac-12 been at the doorstep of making the playoff? Can they do it without Oregon? Oregon already lost. So now it lies on the rest of the Pac-12 to do what they got to do to get in the playoff.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a bad loss.
Yeah. I mean, but it's given that because Georgia is the returning national champ, so it's given that we lose. All right, that those rankings become more important if you go to a SEC championship game and take a L.
Yeah.
Now, if you win out, if Georgia is in position because we are the defending national champ, we win out, we in. No matter what. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's going to be, like I said, these games going to be very interesting today. And I wouldn't be surprised if no upset. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised if no upset this week on somebody's part.
It's going to be some upsets. It's going to be some upsets this Saturday. You know what I mean? Hey, hook 'em horns.
Well, listen. If Texas can keep the game, put it like this: if they can put Bama in a phone booth, put them in a phone booth, the way LSU did last year, the way Auburn did in the Iron Bowl, you make the game ugly. Make the game ugly. Do not get into a track meet with Bama. You're not going to win because they have the kid from Louisville, the transfer from Louisville. You got Jermaine Burton and you got Ja'Cory Brooks. You got some speedsters.
Mm-hmm.
You got some. Now, if they had JoJo Earl, they would be on a whole nother level. Level. Because if I'm not mistaken, that kid runs a 4.3. But if Texas can keep the game on the ground, if Bijan can have a good game, if Bijan Robinson has a good game, if he can put up like 100+ yards on the ground, this game will be close. Limit Bama's possessions. Do not get into no air raid contest with them.
Mm-hmm. And what offense be trying to do with Will Anderson? They're trying to get him tired by making him run towards the play. That ain't how you make a player tired. You run at the player. Run at the player. I don't care if the play don't work. Run at him.
Because in that national championship game, 70 was on his behind. 70 was kicking his butt. I don't know what type of juice they gave him. But I'm gonna tell you the truth. He was on Will Anderson behind. But with Alabama, look, you got to get in to play that backyard football with Alabama. Alabama doesn't respond well to people punching them back in. When they punch and you punch back, they don't respond well.
Yeah.
When they get in that adverse situation, because they're just not used to it. You know,
Mm-mm.
I mean, mentally they have been told they are Alabama and they are all is thou. You know,
And they could just
Yeah.
come out there. They could just come out there with the uniforms on and their helmets on, and just go out there, and the other team will roll over. Remember, Florida had that mentality at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Florida had that same mentality, and that's something that Kirby has to stay on top of Georgia players, and don't get the big head. Don't think, okay, you could just come out there, roll your helmets out there, and think that the other team is just going to lay down.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Texas needs to make this a ugly, nasty 4 quarters game, the same way that South Carolina did with Georgia in 2019 when they came to
You
Athens
right.
and upset Georgia.
You right about that. It was ugly. That game was ugly.
Yeah.
That game was ugly. That game was ugly.
No
I
one
mean, they
saw
played.
that.
Look,
No one saw that coming. No one saw that coming.
they played a brilliant game. They disguised their defenses. They really did what they were supposed to do.
Yep. Baylor and BYU, Big 12. BYU. BYU was I don't know if they independent, whatever. That's gonna be an interesting game right there. That's an important game for the Big 12 right there. Very important game. And they
Baylor,
is in. Go ahead.
Baylor and BYU. BYU in the
Yeah.
Big 12 now.
Mm-mm.
No, they're not
Oh,
yet. Not
Not
yet,
yet.
but
Not yet.
they're clashing today. They're clashing today.
okay. I haven't seen Baylor this year. I haven't seen a game from them. But I mean, if they building off of what they had last year, they're pretty decent. But I'm gonna be honest with you, you cannot. Where they playing at? Baylor or BYU?
BYU.
Ooh, look, you can't look. You cannot sleep on. Look, you can't sleep on them boys, man. Hey, look, you get out there playing around with BYU. BYU will whip you.
Hey, what year was it? 2 years ago for the pandemic, we was talking about BYU and 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 the other commentator was talking about BYU gonna lose this game, and also BYU won that game.
Uh huh.
I'm like,
Look,
wait a minute here.
hey, look, I got respect for them boys. I got respect for them guys who go on a mission, who go on the missions. Look here. You get out there playing with BYU and hey, look here, the score will be 30-0 before you know it.
And both teams are ranked. Baylor's ranked number 9, and BYU ranked number 21. That's why I said this is a big game for the Big 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big 12 was kind of like the Pac-12. They can't afford too many hiccups at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Hey, you're absolutely right about that now. They can't afford. I mean, any other conference. I mean, well, I'll give the ACC credit when they were playing quality football. Any conferences outside the SEC, ACC, and the Big Ten,
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, if you don't win, you're not getting in because they'll easily put 2 teams from the SEC in the championship. That's already been proven.
Mm-hmm. And if people out there wondering why they would do that, look at the talent level of the SEC. You might have 1 or 2 teams that's not is any good, but look at the schedule. Every time
Yep.
you go on that field, I don't care you going away or you playing at home, and the team coming in to play you. They coming in to beat you.
High level of competition.
Mm-hmm. Look at Vanderbilt.
Yep.
I'm trying to see who is Vanderbilt playing today. Hold on. Oh, hold on. They're playing Wake Forest.
Wake Forest. Listen, like I said, this could be a big day for the SEC, and it could be a dark day for the SEC. Wake Forest, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Pitt, Bama, and Texas. You know, if the SEC can get 2 out of 3, great day. If there's a situation where only Bama is Bama and the other 2 lose, then it's gonna, people gonna be like, okay, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
In the SEC, it's Bama and Georgia and everybody else.
Yeah, and I told you off behind the scene that although we play San Jose State at home, I'm confident we'll win the game. But how we win the game? Can we stay penalty free and keep the sloppiness out of the game? You know what I'm saying? We mean understand what I'm talking about with that. Because San Jose State used to be good, but we don't take no part. San Jose State.
There's no reason why y'all should struggle. Saying that team is not nowhere near in the top 25. I mean, if y'all have any issues with San Jose State, bro, you need to go ahead and write up that man's pink slip for real. There will be no excuse for y'all to even flinch against San Jose State, brother. Come on.
Yeah. But I'm been optimistic, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I know we could beat them. We're gonna beat them.
But
I want to see improvement. But what I'm saying is, I want to see improvement from last week.
Well, Dwayne, basically what you're saying when you sat there and you were like today. I'm not worried about Sanford. Basically what you were saying then, that you don't have faith in y'all being more athletic than San Jose State.
Oh, I got faith. That's what I was saying. Stop trying to say what I said, because I said what I said. Can I say what I said? Hey, what I said, I was straightforward with it.
Y'all go.
Look here. I'm like this right here. Look, I do not take no team that we play lightly.
Who?
Never. I never take no team that we play lightly.
Yeah, but some teams they're just like man, when we play Beauregard. Okay, we knew we were gonna drop 50 and 60 on them, man. Anytime we look down at wherever Beauregard was, that was like a bye week for us, bro. We half-ass practice that week.
Hold on, I'm gonna ask you the question. Hold on, I'm gonna ask you the question. Okay, Michigan. We're gonna go back to the Michigan Athletic State game when Athletic State came back. Hold on. Before they got,
I'm gonna tell you the difference. Go ahead. You love bringing that up. I'm gonna tell you.
There's a whole lot of games I could probably bring up. John Southern did it too. A whole lot of teams on did it.
About the Michigan Appalachian State, and then let me reply.
One. You think Michigan wasn't worried about Athletic State? Like, oh, Michigan felt like, oh, we beat them, all that stuff right there. But what happened?
Okay, let me explain to you what happened. All right, let me explain to you what happened. For everybody in the back, please pay close attention to this. All right. Although that will go down as history as one of the biggest shocks of college football, you got to remember, Michigan was coming off a season in 2006 where they almost made it to the BCS championship game. All right. They lost a lot of players to the NFL draft going into the 2007 season. All right. They lost, even after the Appalachian State game, they lost. They got blew out by Oregon that same year. Right. They got blew out by Oregon that same year. They lost to Notre Dame. They had a pretty bad year that year because they lost a lot of players to the NFL. And it was also they had like coaching issues. Carr, it was like some of the alumni wanted him gone, some of them wanted to stay. Kind of like what was going on at Auburn a couple of years ago with Gus. All right. There was turmoil going on in Michigan. All right. Now, Appalachian State had won the FCS, like 3-4 years in a row.
Yep.
They were a powerhouse in the FCS. They were beating teams in the Power Five before Michigan. What made it intriguing with Michigan is they did it at the big house. But that was not the same Michigan team that, with Mike Hart and Braylon Edwards and all of them, and that we saw in 06. That 07 Michigan team was weak. They had took a step back, a giant step back.
Yep.
But I'm not looking at what they had. Look at the name. Yeah. How many people actually look at that? How many people go in depth like we do in who they had and who they do not have?
No, but what I'm telling you is, during that time, brother, Appalachian State was a dangerous team. Yeah. Appalachian State was to college football what Boise State became. One of those lower conference teams that's dangerous and could sneak up on you and beat you at any time.
Yeah, because like Appalachian State in North Carolina, so you could pull 3 stars. Yeah, they're a Southern team, so you could pull 3 stars because everybody ain't gonna make it D1. You can pull 3 stars, and you get a couple of 4 stars. Hey, you got you a team.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
But
and like Amy said, Michigan was terrible. They were terrible.
But the reason I said that is, way the transfer portal, NIL, and all that stuff, you don't know what's going to happen. So I know they're going to win, but I want to see improvement.
Yeah, you make a valid point. I get what you're saying, but the reference to Michigan and Appalachian State, let's just go ahead and be honest.
Jay Madison, Virginia Tech. Jay Madison, Virginia Tech.
Jay Madison, some dogs, bro.
Not them. Hey, but I'm looking at it. Hey, I'm looking at. People don't look at it like we look at it. You see what I'm saying? They look at the name. Yeah. Oh, Virginia Tech should have beat Jay Madison. You see what I'm saying?
I wouldn't look at that because James Madison James Madison beat Virginia a couple of years ago.
Yeah, know what I'm saying?
James Madison, Old Dominion, all right, Appalachian State, Marshall. You can throw Troy in there.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and also Georgia State. Those teams will sneak up on you. Louisiana Monroe. Those teams will sneak up on you and come into your house and surprise you.
Yeah, and especially at them games before the NIL and the transfer portal. You see what I'm saying? And think what could happen now. That's why I say some of these teams got to be careful in the day, because I'm looking at some upset. Would I be surprised if Texas beat Alabama? No, I wouldn't. Would I be surprised Alabama wound up winning the game? No. Neither one of the scenario surprised me. Stanford beat USC? Would it surprise me? Maybe. But right now, the pressure on USC, because they carried the banner of the Pac-12. Who's carrying the banner for the Big 12? Oklahoma or Oklahoma State this year? Anybody?
You say what?
Who carried
ask that question again about the Big 12?
Who is going to be carrying the banner for the Big 12? Oklahoma State, Baylor, or Oklahoma?
Well, we're going to find that out today.
It's too early to tell.
It's too early to tell because, you know, like I said, you know, when we did our preseason picks, Jason is looking at Baylor. All right. You were looking at Oklahoma State. And also I'm looking at Oklahoma State, but what I overlooked the fact that Oklahoma State lost their defensive coordinator.
Yes.
Okay, I'm kind of like shifting more towards Baylor now, but this is a dangerous game for Baylor. But if Baylor can get past BYU, then look out. I think that right there will I think that will be
at BYU too.
Oklahoma or Oklahoma State lost their D coordinator. I know Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma, well, hell, their coach, their head coach is a defensive guru. Brent Venables is a defensive guru.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got then you got see who is split? Missouri, Kansas State. Hey, SEC in the Big 12 matchup again.
That kid Luther Burden is let me tell you something. This kid, the talent he has, if there was a rule if there was a one and done rule in the college football like it is in college basketball, I'm serious. This kid could go in the NFL and get drafted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dead ass serious. This kid, what he did last Saturday is amazing. He took over that game single-handedly. He is that type of player that can take over a game himself. Kansas State, it's this simple. Anyone else will have to beat me. But I'm not allowing Luther Burden to beat me. If I have to put 2-3 guys on him, if I have to box him the entire day, I'm not allowing Luther Burden to beat me.
Yeah. You're right. and they is in that gonna be an intrigue game too. Then you got Kansas, West Virginia. Like I said, these games is important right now for the Big 12.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really a must that they come out and give a good showing. But at the end of the day, it's only going to be one. You know what I'm saying? It's only going to be one. So, Big 12, you know, we know that. We know in the past has always been Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Now to me, they added 2 more in Oklahoma State and Baylor. So, and I mean, Texas this year, Texas is going to compete for that conference. They really are.
I would have to see them today first.
Yeah.
I would have to see them if they get blown out the water, which could happen. There's no way that I'm going to say that they could compete. You know, but if they go in there and put up a fight, if they do to Alabama what Notre Dame tried to do to Ohio State, at least stay in it for 4 quarters, then hell yeah.
Yeah.
I will move them up there to my top 3 in the Big 12.
Yeah. And them 2 years that Oklahoma State was talked about when it was TCU and Baylor, for Baylor strapped a football program. TCU ain't recovered from that, but Baylor look like they're recovering real well right now.
Yeah, what happened to TCU? They used to play pretty good.
Well, what happened was Oklahoma got better, Oklahoma State got better, Baylor just came back out of nowhere. TCU program and then Texas started recruiting Dallas, and you got a lot of other teams that come. Arkansas recruits Dallas very well. Sam Pittman recruits very well. Sam Pittman is a hell of a recruiter. So if Arkansas can hold on to him, keep him happy, keep the man, keep money, keep money in his pocket and keep him happy. Man, Arkansas is going to be around for a while.
They really are.
It's gonna be very interesting, and there's gonna be a lot of game watching today.
Oh yeah,
so interesting game.
I love it. I love the way they got the games. I would have. I don't know why Fox would put that game on at 12 or Texas and Alabama, but I think they're not really giving too much stock in it because Texas is unranked. If Texas would have been ranked, I'm surprised they didn't slide them in at number 25 or 24 just to make it okay. Well, all right, we got to put this game at night. But I'm glad that we have something to look forward to at 12. Definitely 3:30, 4 o'clock, man. We're going to be like, I know me and Jason, our remotes are going to be moving. We're going because that Tennessee Pitt game and the South Carolina Arkansas game, we're going to find out today how strong the East is.
Yeah.
Are there pretenders or contenders in the East? We're going to find that out today. We're going to find that out today. That's one thing I know we're going to find out.
You're gonna be, whew, and it starts at 12 o'clock. Oh boy, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
They kick off less than an hour.
Yeah.
They kick off less than an hour.
Sweet 12 o'clock game. 12 o'clock game.
That's dangerous. That's dangerous. I'll tell any Tide fan, listen, 12 o'clock, those 12 o'clock games are dangerous, especially when you're traveling and they heat down there in Austin. And you know the games that they play, they're gonna cut that air off in the visitors' locker room. I'm serious.
Hey, look, you seen the saga about the $1 million band?
Mm-hmm. The $1 million band is not traveling. I mean, it's just so many. It's got a weird feel to it. It has a weird feel to it. I don't really. I feel weird about this game for some reason.
I feel wonderful about it. I just get there's two fan bases and two teams that now look, and this last team they just came climbed up the ladder. Florida and Alabama. Oh my God! I'm gonna tell you the truth. I just can't stomach them.
Mm-hmm.
You know that just the arrogance. You know, just the arrogance, the disrespect. You're not gonna disrespect my Bulldogs, and you're not gonna diminish that we are the national champ. You know, they tried to downplay our national championship.
Well, you know, listen, that haters are gonna downplay whatever you do. You know what I'm saying? they can downplay whatever they want to downplay. The fact remains is they took a butt whipping in Lucas Oil. They can make all the excuses about the receivers being down or whatever, but when Jameis Williams was on the field, they were kicking field goals.
Yep.
And they were kicking field goals after he left the field. So, you know, hey, look, last time I checked, Jameis Williams didn't play defense. And it was the defense. It was the Tide defense that could not hold up against Georgia in the fourth quarter.
Sure couldn't.
So,
you know, but you know, that's in the past now. We're on the run it back tour. And we're looking pretty good to do it, as long as we can stay focused week in and week out. Because we are young. We are young on defense. So long as we can stay focused week in and week out, I mean, I think it could happen.
Well, like I said, we're going to find out about the competition. There's been a lot of buzz, a lot of hype about Tennessee in the offseason. Florida, after beating Utah, we're going to find out, was that for real or was it a fluke?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to find out, was Utah overrated or is Florida for real? That's what we're going to find out tonight in Gainesville. Because Kentucky has a big, stout defense, just like Georgia. This will be, when they line up against Kentucky tonight, this will be the closest thing they'll line up to, the closest thing to Georgia that they'll line up to until until Jacksonville.
Yep.
Big, stout defense, defensive line, fast linebackers, physical, blue collar type defense. That's Kentucky.
And
You right about that.
Kentucky has an experienced quarterback too.
Will Levis. And I'm going to tell you like this. Hey, look. Whatever team in the NFL drafts him, they're going to get a steal. They are going to get a steal. The kid has great size. He has a cannon for an arm, and he can run and scramble. It's like having a better version of a Bo Nix, in my opinion. And he's very accurate. The passes that he was making in the game last year against us, man, I was getting, listen, if it wasn't for the fact that we had that damn defense, bro, that game could have went totally different.
You're right.
Yep.
It's true. But like I said, I hope all the teams stays injury free. Now we know injuries are going to happen to any teams. Hoping not that the majors. If some of these teams can stay injury free or minor injuries through the season, it's gonna be good for some teams.
Bama. Listen to me real good, Tide fans. Listen to me real good, Tide fans. The one player you cannot afford to lose. I think you could lose Bryce Young and still survive. But the one player, and I mean the one player absolutely you cannot lose, is Will Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
You can't lose Will Anderson. You can't. You cannot lose Will Anderson.
Yeah, just be honest with you. If Texas was watching game film, the left side of that Alabama offensive line, oh my good garbage.
Yep. And guess what? And what side they kept running to? What plays they kept running? The right side, wasn't it?
Yeah, you can't afford to lose Will Anderson. I'm telling you, and listen, that LSU team that you saw last Sunday, you're gonna start seeing a different. You're gonna see a different LSU team tonight and from here on out.
Oh yeah,
that's what I was telling Michael Sunday night. Listen, I'm not down on I'm not down on LSU at all. They listen. What happened last Sunday? I really feel like that was just first game jitters, and the game plan. You know, even coaches have first game jitters. I think both coaches made some dumb mistakes. I think Brian Kelly made some dumb errors, and I think Norvell definitely made. Florida State. I think if Florida State just go ahead and pull the trigger and get him the hell up out of there and get a real head coach in there, Florida State would come back and be a powerhouse in the ACC. Because it is just too much talent in that area for Florida State to not be competing on a higher level than where they're doing now.
Yeah. I mean, you see them going in a better direction, but I really just you're right about that, Amos. I just really don't feel like that he is he ain't one of them top tier coaches. Because you got to understand, Florida State was a top tier program. I mean, you could still give them credit, but I'm not gonna give them that credit. But they were a top tier program, and he just, I don't know. Like at the end of that game, okay, I was talking to a couple of my buddies. And what was the score at the end of that game? Because they tied it up. Was it 24-17? When Florida State was down on the goal line?
Yeah, you think of it,
Okay. If I'm on the goal line, I don't give a shit if I'm at the 20. I'm bringing in all the fat boys. Ain't no receivers. Ain't no receivers on the field. You had like 2 or 3 minutes left in the game. The way I'm thinking about this game, y'all about to burn some time out. That's exactly what you about to do.
I'm not gonna be dumb enough to pitch no ball on the goal line.
Yeah,
that was the dumb.
That's just stupid. So
you pitch the ball on the goal line. If that defensive lineman get through there.
Look, Dwayne, Amy, I'm looking, I'm like, what the hell? Like, why would you? I'm like, boy, these people getting too cute with football these days.
That right there is a situation where everybody is not meant to be a coach. Yeah. I still don't understand how the hell this man still has that job. I just knew they were going to get him up out of there during the offseason.
You know what that reminds me of? That Super Bowl. So you out of New England. Yes. Call that dumb play.
Yes.
Why you pass up the goal line?
You got the best running back in the league.
Who got you down now?
And you throw a slant pass. Well,
And
flip
Florida
that.
Florida State has a fleet of 5-star running backs. And you are pitching the damn ball on the goal line. All you have to do, man, just turn around. He could just turn around, hand the ball off to number 5, and he would have took that ball right on in the end zone.
I
I
would
would
have
have
threw it
read.
to I
Go
would have
ahead.
threw it to the 6-7 receiver before I pitched it.
Look, I would have went the old wing T formation before I pitched it. The I formation with the old fullback back there.
Or you could have with that kid, bro. You could have ran a goddamn quarterback sneak, because that dude,
Yeah.
not only is he fast and elusive, he was running over people.
Uh-huh.
He was running over people all night.
You know,
So you toss the ball behind the line of scrimmage. It's not going forward. The running back don't catch the ball, or the quarterback get hit while pitching the ball. That's a fumble. That's a turnover.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If it's not a turnover, and your offense lineman so had to fall on it, guess what? Now you're not on the goal line no more. Yeah, you're in the red zone, but you're not on the goal line no more.
So do we think, all right, like when they have on those headsets, right? And the offensive coordinator is calling a play. Can the head coach hear the offensive
Yeah.
coordinator and
Yeah,
calling the
they're
play?
talking. He's talking to the offensive coordinator. But I think this dude changes. He seems like a stubborn dude. He seems like one of them bullheaded, stubborn type head coaches that try to make it all about him. He knows he's in the hot seat. He knows half of the fan base can't stand him.
Mm-hmm.
So he seems like the type of person, man, that will override the offensive coordinator decision and just do what he want to do and put a last minute play in.
Uh-huh.
Because the quarterback, if you look at his expression, he was upset. He was pissed. Because he had that look like, I told you, you should give me the ball.
Because in that situation, even if you don't get a touchdown, you kick a field goal, you win the game.
Mm-hmm.
Bingo.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it was that's like Matt Ryan. That's like Matt Ryan. We need a couple of yards to kick a field goal in the Super Bowl. Matt Ryan changed the play. So Matt Ryan can look like he's the creme de la creme. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Offensive coordinators and head coaches will do that. I believe that was a combination. Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn is not. He wasn't built for a head coach. He wasn't built to be a head coach. He just he let his coordinators have too much power over the game preparation. It just seems like to me, he didn't run the team the way Belichick ran his team. I mean, come on, your offensive coordinator losing a damn playbook a couple of days before the game. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I never heard of that one. I never heard of that right there. Losing. Yeah. Even when I did the coaches in my early days, whatever. And you already know where I lived at, right?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't never lost a playbook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Come on now. Look, hey, have you ever lost an important thing, paperwork, Armando? Have you ever lost anything important paperwork?
Not when it came to football.
I'm trying anything. I'm trying. That's just like losing your birth certificate, your insurance policy.
Yeah.
Should I go on?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like losing. I would equate that to losing your wallet, or just being careless and leaving your purse laying around with your license, your credit card, and everything. I mean, that's just careless. You were just careless that day to do some crap like that. So
Yeah.
If then nobody steal it and you just left it or you accidentally, you were careless. You were being careless.
It kind of make it look like trying to throw the game, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
Wow.
Look, how many played through the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator have? Over 100 plays.
Yeah,
and you try to say you can remember all of them?
Exactly.
No. Come on. Give me a break. That was Kyle Shanahan, wasn't it?
That was just another excuse, wasn't it?
Hey, but I tell you, this is gonna be a great day. It's gonna be a great day for some people. I gotta tell Bama fan this. Y'all better not let Tennessee beat Bama. Y'all better not let Texas beat y'all. Better not let Texas beat y'all, cause guess what? I'm breaking out the shirt tonight.
Look, let's just be honest about it. Alabama talked a lot of shit during the offseason, okay? You know, there was a lot of bitching and whining and talking shit. You know,
yep.
So I'm ready to see them. I'm ready to see them. Get what's coming to them.
Hey, look, hey, you know, I'm ready to break out that shirt. And hey, if Texas beat Bama at home, unranked, you know I gotta break that shirt out tonight. You already know it, don't you? Mm-hmm. So, what else? All right, let's get to prediction time.
All right, it's prediction time. Let's go ahead and do the picks. We're gonna start off with Alabama and Texas. So we've talked about it a lot this morning. Let's go ahead and make some picks. They kick off in 30 minutes. Who do you got?
34-33.
Jay?
34-33. Texas. Hook 'em home.
Are you kidding? You think they're gonna put up them many points on Bama?
Yeah, you gotta think about it. It's a shootout. Bama ain't. They secondary is suspect.
You got to get to that secondary, though, man. You got to get to the secondary.
But I got a question. When have Bama defensive back been good?
That's what I'm saying. They ain't been good since what the boy that came out with Campbell that Alabama had. Him and Campbell went to the same school. Mika. Vince. Is that Mika?
Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald, whatever his name is.
Patrick Surtain.
Yeah. Since then,
they ain't really been decent since then.
I'm going Texas, bro. I'm going Texas.
Hook 'em home.
Well, I'm gonna pick this one with my head, not my heart. Okay. I'm gonna say it'll be competitive in the first half, and maybe
we already know you're going to Alabama.
Yeah, 31. I'm gonna say 31-17 tied, man, because that defense is no joke. I got to give them credit for that.
Fuck him, man.
No, I'm not gonna give him credit for that. Till Will let us show me he can get off a block.
Y'all picking with emotion. I'm picking with knowledge of the game, man.
I'm manifesting a loss. That's what I'm doing.
There you go. And next game, man.
And it usually, and you know what? It usually happen that just like that week with Texas A&M. I said that I believe they're gonna drop 50 on Texas A&M, and then they went down there and got their butt beat. So they usually happen when it's the opposite. But when you're picking against them, that's when they usually go out there and drop 50 and 60 on the team. Now the next one, South Carolina at Arkansas. So that's at 12 noon today. They moved it to 12 noon at Razorback Stadium in Arkansas. I think I'm going to be watching that more because I know that's going to be more of a gun. Look, we play them next week, so I want to see what South Carolina's working with.
Yeah. So I'm going Arkansas.
You going Arkansas?
Yeah, I'm going Arkansas on this one.
Okay.
Woo pig to it.
All right.
He going Arkansas. Look like
I'm
it.
going Arkansas.
Hey, it's the battle of the former assistants, former Kirby assistants. So you think Sam Pittman? I'm picking Arkansas as well. Arkansas is too much experience. That defense, Bumper Poole, Hayden Haynes.
And the offense too. The offense is TJ.
That offense, KJ Jefferson. Yeah, they're no joke. They are no joke. They're going to be a problem. And they're, like I said, their signature games are at home. Keep that in mind and keep an eye on that. All right, now the next one. This game is at 12 noon also. 12 noon's going to be off the chain today. 12 noon's off the chain. Wake Forest, Vanderbilt. Who you got?
Vanderbilt is what I think they're at Vanderbilt too. They're at Vandy. I want to see Vandy go 3-0 again.
I think they'll move in the top 25 if they could pull this off. What you think, Jason?
I'm going with the country music capital of the world. Go ahead and show us what you got, Vanderbilt. I love an underdog story. I love it.
All right.
Oh my dog.
Okay. Listen, I'm rolling with Vanderbilt. Listen, the way they went out there and did to Hawaii, you don't don't go out there and drop 60 on them like that. You don't do that. Listen. I think now that they have their quarterback and pretty much a decent defense, I think this is the best team Vanderbilt has had since 2017, in my opinion. Now, on to the next one. Now, will Notre Dame have a hangover against Marshall? And that game is at 2:30.
Nah, I gotta go Notre Dame. I gotta go Notre Dame on that one.
Notre Dame defensively, Notre Dame is playing better.
Yeah.
They just can't generate a whole lot of offense right now, and I think that coach. Plus, I like the coaching hire, so I'm gonna go Notre Dame.
All right. Okay. Now the next one, Appalachian State.
Hold on, you ain't choose. You ain't pick that one.
Oh, I got Notre Dame.
Okay.
You already knew that.
I know, right. But he gotta say it though.
Yeah, Notre Dame. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about it. South Bend, if they were playing in Marshall, it would be a different story. Okay, Kyle Field, 3:30. Appalachian State, Texas A&M. A lot of people feel that Texas A&M is suspect and they're overrated right now. Does Appalachian State go into Kyle Field and expose the Aggies? I doubt it. I'm gonna pick Texas A&M to break out of their shell and win this game, 35-17. Texas A&M.
Yeah, I'm going Texas A&M for them.
I gotta go Texas A&M, but would it surprise me Appalachian State win that ball game? No, but I'm going Texas A&M to win.
All righty. Okay. Now, this game right here, I think is this next game is going to be very important. Very important to the SEC and the ACC. Tennessee at Pitt at 3:30.
Tennessee.
They at Pitt, right? They at Pitt, right?
Yeah, they at Pitt.
I mean, I gotta go. I'm gonna go Tennessee. I don't like Tennessee, but I gotta go Tennessee because if you look at West Virginia and Pitt having a close game with West Virginia, that Tennessee offense is on crack compared to West Virginia. So I'm gonna go Tennessee.
Yeah, I gotta go Tennessee because they got a little something coming back and going to the Pitt. And Pitt ain't who they used to be either, so I gotta go with Tennessee.
Um, both have pretty good offenses, but I'm going to look at the fact that Hendon Hooker is playing on another level, and Tennessee's defense has improved. Tennessee's defense has improved. So I'm going to say a high scoring game, but I think this time it'll tilt into Tennessee's favor 42-35 Volunteers.
All right.
All right, next game. Pac-12 stand up. You can come back and make a statement. Washington State versus Wisconsin. And Camp Randall, 3:30. Listen, Wisconsin, they're returning a lot of players, and that defense is much improved. That offensive line is still a juggernaut. I'm going to give the edge to Wisconsin in this one, in the nail biter, 24-21, Wisconsin over Washington State.
Yeah, Wisconsin has a good running back. They run the ball pretty well. I'm going Wisconsin in this game.
I'm going Wisconsin. When you missed that game, I had Wisconsin down quick, fast, in a hurry. So we know what they got coming back. So that would be a shocker if Washington State going to Wisconsin to beat Wisconsin. That would be a shocker.
All right, now this is a trap game right here, a dangerous trap game. The number 25 ranked Houston goes into Lubbock and take on Texas Tech, and the Red Raiders. I'm going to pick the upset here. 35-31, Texas Tech.
Ooh, bold pick. Bold pick.
There's something off about Houston this year. There's just something going on there.
What you said, what, 35, what, 32?
35-31.
31? Ooh, bold pick right there. I got to go with Houston.
Okay.
They might look a little off last week, but they come back and get it right. So I got to go with Houston.
I just don't look at Houston like they play big-time quality football. They're so spurty. So bang, 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 bang. I'm going Texas Tech.
Going Texas Tech. All right.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang. All right. Got the State Fair going on up there in Kinnick Stadium. Iowa State versus Iowa. 4 p.m. Listen, defense. In today's college football world, bro, defense is coming back. Defense is coming back. So I'm going with the better defensive team, Iowa. And I don't see Iowa State doing much scoring on Iowa. I'll say something like 23-10 or 23-9, something like that.
You said Iowa, right? 23-10 or 9. It ain't gonna matter. 9 or 10, it ain't gonna matter. I gotta go with. I'm just flip the coin on this one. I'm going with Iowa. I'm flipping a coin on this. I'm going with the state of Iowa. If we catch my drift on that one. So
well, yes, Iowa does play defense, but they don't really generate offense a lot of times. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go with Iowa State. She move her body like a cyclone.
Bold pick.
Hey, that's cyclone, huh? Okay.
Cyclone.
And now I got a good one here for you, fellas. Both teams are coming out of great games. One loss, a close one, a nail biter, and the other one won a thriller. Old Dominion versus East Carolina.
What they at?
Carolina, Old Dominion travels to East Carolina.
I gotta go ECU. They gotta go ECU.
I'm going ECU. Lightning is not going to strike twice. ECU is coming off a loss. They're going to be motivated. I think this East Carolina team is a hell of a lot better than they were last year. I think they're going to compete in the All-American Conference. ECU. And ECU 38, Old Dominion 14. I think East Carolina's going to put it on.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. I mean, Old Dominion has been known to create upsets. They play decent football. I'm gonna be honest with you. My gut is telling me the Old Dominion. So I'm gonna go.
You gotta say he go ODU. Hey, we got some good ones picked here.
He going ODU, huh?
He going
ODU.
All right.
ODB.
Okay. All right. We got a 7:00 game in the swamp. Kentucky versus Florida. And I'll go first. I just think Kentucky's defense is going to be a four quarters ugly game. The only way that you really going to be able to beat Kentucky, you got to put the ball in the air, because Kentucky is built similar to Georgia. And to beat Georgia, you got to do it in the air. Same as for Kentucky. I don't see any signs of A.R. Richardson being able to beat this team in the air. And I think Kentucky is going to put Florida in a phone booth, and they're going to out physical them and outman them. I'm taking Kentucky in a close one, 27-24. It could come down to a field goal, but I think Kentucky will get it.
See, I'm going with Kentucky because they try to build off what they had last year, and got a little experience coming back, and I like it. I don't care they was in the phone booth. Okay, they was playing in that swamp. Guess what? Kentucky will win anyway.
All right. Okay.
It's on Jay now.
Huh?
It's on you now.
I mean, hey, look, man.
That's a tough one, man. I know that's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
I know where he going.
Bruh, both of y'all know me. I don't give a shit if Florida playing against Valdosta High. I'm going for Valdosta High. Go Kentucky. Go.
You knew that was coming. I already had put the look, Jay. I already had put Kentucky down for y'all already anyway, so I would do where it's coming.
Yeah. Thank you, Dwayne. I mean, come on now. You look. Let's go ahead and I don't give a look. It could be
keep it 100.
It could be a guaranteed win for Florida. I'm picking against them.
Okay. All right, now you got this is a tough one right here. No. This ain't a tough. I'm looking at the next one. This one right here, I think USC makes a statement. That defense is no joke, and that offense is going to roll even in Palo Alto. USC, Stanford, I'm taking USC big. I'm taking USC 45-17. Trojans.
Yeah, I'm going USC. I think USC is better coach now. So, yeah, I'm going with them.
Yeah, USC. I like USC, and it's right now. It's on them right now to carry the Pac-12. If they somehow find a way to lose the ball game, would I consider that an upset? It's a mild upset, but I like USC to win that game, no matter where they play it at.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now the next game in Stillwater Boone Pickens Stadium, 7:30 p.m. Arizona State versus Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State ranked 11, Arizona State unranked. Oklahoma State did not look good at all last week. I'm calling the upset here. I got Arizona State winning this one 24-20. Arizona State.
Hey, you are on to something. Arizona State does have the coach. I'm going with Oklahoma State. I'm going with Oklahoma State.
Hey, you know what? I got to go with her with Arizona State, cause I look at this right here. He got more to prove than Dan Gundy at Oklahoma State. I don't think Oklahoma State could pull off a miracle twice back to back in 2 years. What they did, they can't put it off. I like Arizona State.
All right. 8:30, Austin Stadium, Eugene, Oregon. Eastern Washington, which is the FCS powerhouse, goes into Oregon and the Austin Stadium to play Oregon. Does Oregon suffer a hangover? Now, we know what happened to Clemson last year. All right, after Georgia, did Georgia steal Oregon's soul? Okay, Oregon bounced back. I say Oregon bounces back, but it's going to be closer than the experts think. I'm saying the game is going to be 27-21 Oregon. It's going to be a nail biter. It's going to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. I happen to think that this is a must win for Oregon. As a program, they need to bounce back. I think Dan Lanning is a upstanding coach, so I'm gonna go with Oregon in this one.
Yeah, I'm with y'all on that train right there, that Oregon train. I think Oregon bounces back. They just played a good game against Georgia, but they didn't have enough firepower. And they at home, at the comfort of their own home. Guess what? It might be a blowout.
All right, we got two tough ones coming up next, bro. Two tough picks coming up next, so get ready. 10:15, LaVelle Edwards Stadium, Provo, Utah. Number 9 ranked Baylor versus number 21 BYU.
I'm going BYU. I'm going BYU at home.
I got to stay with my pick. I think Baylor made a brilliant hire with their head coach. I'm going Baylor Bears.
Going Baylor.
Going Baylor Bears.
I'm gonna say this. Okay, this is one of the toughest places to go into. All right, and if you have to go to Provo, you would rather go in there in the afternoon, but to go there at night, it could be a house of horrors. I'm going with BYU, and I think this game will go into overtime. I'm gonna say BYU 31-30, winning in overtime. Baylor can still lose this game and still have a chance to win the Big 12, go to a New Year's Six, in my opinion. So, Baylor there's always going to be a hiccup on their schedule, a little hiccup, and I think this is going to be the hiccup. I don't think they're going to get out of BYU with a win. D?
I said BYU first. I first one said BYU.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure you see. I just wanted to make sure. All right. All right. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add this one. This is a tough one too. Bulldog Stadium, 10:30, Fresno, California.
Ooh.
Oregon State and Fresno State. That's a tough one right there. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go Fresno State on this one. That's it.
hey, look here. I told you I love, like I said, I love the Bulldog, Fresno State. I gotta go Fresno State. I can't stop picking them now.
Yeah, I'm going Fresno. I don't know too much about either of those teams, but Fresno seems like they play better football, so I'm going Fresno.
All right. All the picks is in.
Now, no.
Yeah,
We got one more. We got one more. 11 p.m. Arizona Stadium, Tucson, Arizona, in the desert. Mississippi State versus Arizona. Like I said, man, the Pac-12 can make a huge bounce back this week. And this is, if they can pull this one off, man, they can be right back in the conversation of getting a team in the playoffs. Mississippi State versus Arizona.
Oh.
Woo, this is a tough one to pick. Will Rogers is special, man. I just, Will Rogers is special. Mike Leach, he's from the Pac-12. He's familiar with Arizona. If it was any other coach, bro, and I'm including if Dan Mullen was still the head coach, I would give it to Arizona. But by the fact that it's Mike Leach, and it's Arizona was one of his rivals, this is going to be personal to Mike Leach to go back into Arizona and stick it to them as an SEC head coach. I'm picking Mississippi State 38-28 over Arizona.
Yeah, and I'm going with Mississippi State. Mississippi State too. Arizona has not shown me nothing these last few years. Mississippi State has shown me some improvement over the years, and Mike Leach is recruited spectacular. So that's why I'm going Mississippi State.
Yeah, I'm going Mississippi State.
All righty. Well, those are all our picks. Everyone, kickoff is 12 minutes away in Austin, Texas. Salute to Laura La Esco, L. She said L. Arizona State. So you hate every team in the Pac-12, huh? You're going to have to deal with either Utah. We're going to find out about Oregon today.
Yeah.
We're going to find out a lot about Oregon today. We're going to find out a lot about USC today. And I'm picking USC to win this game, to go in there and into Palo Alto and take care of business. But look, it seems like every time I jump on the USC bandwagon, man, they let me down. I'll never forget the year I jumped on the USC bandwagon. They went in the South Bend and got blown out, man. Notre Dame beat the brakes off of them. So I'm gonna see. Look, Caleb Williams is special. That kid is special. I saw what he did last year in that Bedlam game when he just took Oklahoma, put them on their shoulders, and literally almost single-handedly won the game. So we're gonna find out a lot. It's show and tell. This is some teams are gonna get exposed today.
Yeah, and Lola says she always cheer for the underdog.
Well, I think she's a Kentucky fan. Well, she attended Western Kentucky University, but if I'm not, I would think she would be rolling with the Wildcats to beat the Gators tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you know what, Jason, this Georgia really need. As much as I can't stand Tennessee, Georgia needs Tennessee to do the same thing that Arkansas did, man. Georgia, we need them to come into Athens undefeated. And we need Florida to go into Jacksonville with only maybe like one loss. As much as you hate them. And we need Kentucky to come in there. By the time we go to Lexington, which I believe by the time we go to Lexington, that will be for the SEC East crown, in my opinion. It'll be for the East.
Do we need it, or would it look sexy?
It would, because you never know what can happen in Atlanta. You're coming off of Thanksgiving weekend. You're playing, Georgia Tech. Come on, bro. I could put goddamn Buford High School on the field with Georgia Tech, and they would probably beat the brakes off of Georgia Tech. You come off Thanksgiving, you're not going to play much against Georgia Tech. And then you're going into Atlanta, you're playing a juggernaut like Bama or Texas A&M, or let's just say Arkansas. You got to be. You need some beef on your schedule. You need some meat and potatoes on your schedule, and you need some ranked teams on your schedule, man. So as much as I hate Tennessee and I would love to see Pittsburgh kick them up and down the field today, it would kind of hurt Georgia if Tennessee comes into Athens, man, with 2 or 3 losses. Because you got to remember, they got to go into Baton Rouge. They got to go into Baton Rouge before they come to Athens.
I mean, well, where it creates the title of if we go on to do what we want Georgia to do, it creates the title of undisputed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Undisputed national.
I would love for them to go. I would love for them to run the table and go 14, 15, and 0.
Yeah.
I would love for them to do that.
Now, in the SEC, that's not probable, but it would be nice.
Laura Lala, she asked a question. So I forgot. Half of the state is Kentucky fans, the other half is Louisville Cardinal fans. So she's a Louisville Cardinal fan. Good news, Laura. They beat UCF last night in the nail biter, 20-14. Malik Cunningham, 201. He rushed for 121 yards. Wow, Javon Baker had 84 yards passing receiving. Man, Louisville is on fire right now. Keep an eye on them in the ACC now. Gotta keep an eye on them in the ACC. Well, I take them. They lost. They lost. They got blew out by Syracuse last week. So no, they're 1-1. They're 1-1. They're not going anywhere no time soon. But to beat UCF, to go into that hostile environment and do what they did last night, that was a huge bounce back. Huge bounce back. Gus, you better get it together, brother. You're gonna be on the unemployment line again.
That guy's starting to look like a program killer.
You know that old saying, man. Everyone is not meant to be a head coach. Some people are just meant to be a coordinator.
Yeah, because UCF.
And that just may be what goes. Huh?
Before he came, UCF, these type of games, UCF win.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But you also got to look at that coach from UCF left, so they needed a coach.
Yeah, it was hyper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? So it's like that's any college. Then, well, I look at it this way. No matter what goes on, hey, it's gonna be a whole lot of coaches on the hot seat almost in the middle of the year. So, so get ready.
Yeah, I think David Shaw is gonna be one of them. Herman Edwards. If he loses a close one, then I think it'll see the cool off. If he gets, blown out the water by Oklahoma State, then it's going to be a long ride back, and he may be met with a pink slip when he returns to Tempe.
Yeah, I mean, how long has he been there?
I think he's in his 4th season, 4th or 5th year. So he's had an ample amount of time, to turn things around. We've seen Utah, Willingham turned Utah program around. We've seen UCLA get better. We've seen USC go down in the dumps and come back and emerge. We've seen Oregon go down in the dumps and come back and emerge. So 5 years is enough. It's enough time, even on the high school level. School is going to give you 4 to 5 years to turn things around.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yes, sir. And remember, that is a football town. That Tempe, Arizona, that is a football town. That program Back in the 90s, they were winning Pac-12 championships, and they almost won a national title with Jake Plummer. So, all right. So, final thoughts. I mean, you got 3 very important matchups for the SEC. 4, really, with Mississippi State going to Arizona, Bama, Texas, Pitt, Tennessee. Those 2 right there are very important. Very important, in my opinion. You know, those 2 right there. Those 2 are going to set the tone of the day right there. And then Vanderbilt and Wake Forest, that could go either way. But if the SEC can sweep those games, if the SEC can sweep those 4 games today, man, hey, it's definitely the probability of the SEC getting 2 teams in the playoffs gets even greater.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, the teams that playing in the conference games right now, the pressure on them, on both teams of each conference. So no pressure is less than the other because they're looking at if you're looking for look at it from a conference standpoint, it's big for the conference.
It's huge. It's huge. It's huge. It is huge. Like I said.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, Jason, you never know what can happen in Atlanta.
Yeah.
You never know.
I mean, you're right about that.
I'm going to give you a scenario. What if Notre Dame would have beat Cincinnati last year? They would have immediately put Notre Dame in over Georgia. What if Oklahoma State would have gotten in the end zone against Baylor and won the Big 12 championship with a 1 loss? A 1 loss Oklahoma State, Big 12 champions, and a 1 loss Georgia. Come on now. You know the media is not Georgia friendly. They would have put Oklahoma State in there over us.
Yeah, but it's a whole lot of scenarios that could come down at the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting, and the kickoff is less than a minute away. Want to thank everyone for joining us this morning. Jason, thank you for coming out.
No problem. No problem.
We're going to be right back here later on tonight when we're going to get started around 10 with the post-game show. We're not going to go late like we did last Saturday. We're going to get started around 10 p.m. with the post-game show. And we should have a nice crowd in here. Post-game shows are usually thick. The kickoff shows are usually thin. A lot of people went clubbing last night. They're still in the bed. There are other pregame shows as well that are going on TV. You know, people usually watch TV on Saturday morning. So the low numbers, not really concerned about, but the playback is people actually do go back and watch the playbacks. All the people that go back and watch our playbacks, thank you for supporting the channel. And make sure you be back with us here on the post-game show. Today is look, this is going to be a huge college football day today. Next Saturday is going to be out the chain, but this Saturday right here, we're going to find out. It's show and tell. We're going to find out. We're going to separate the contenders from the pretenders.
Yep. Straight up. All right, the game about to start.
It's game time.
It's game time.
All right, everyone. Thank you all for coming out. And it is game time. And we'll be back with you all on the post-game show. Take care of yourselves and each other. We love you all. Enjoy your college football Saturday. And what do you have to say, Jason?
Over and out. Go Dogs.
And what do you have to say, D-True?
War Eagle. That's all I got to say. It's over.
I know it. That's what I'll just making sure now. I'm just making sure now. All right, I'm gonna go. We give a big go Dogs. Have a great, safe game. We hope everyone, no injuries. We pray for no injuries to any of these kids on the field today. Everyone, be safe. Enjoy your college football Saturday. Love you all. And thank you for everyone in the chat for joining us this morning.